Well, hello. Thanks for joining me today. We are going to be talking about discovering Viking's British Isles Explorer. I'm Carol Shaddix with Imagine Going There Travel, and we are Viking specialists. We're actually Viking's second largest seller, and we really know these itineraries inside and out. So we're here to take care of you. We're here to tell you all about this great itinerary, and we're here to give you extra bonuses for your vacation. So feel free to reach out. My contact information is at the bottom of the screen, carol@imaginegoingthere.com, or feel free to give me a call at 770-421-9627. Let us know how we can help make this a great vacation for you. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Viking to start with. So if you've never done a Viking cruise before, their ocean ships are amazing. And really, ever since the first ship hit the water in 2015, it has gone up #1 in the small ship ocean cruise category ever since. So we're going to explain why that is, and let's get started. First of all, Viking does sell the world. So 500 destinations all across the world. If there's a place on your bucket list that you haven't been to, Viking likely goes there. So we love to help guests explore the world with Viking. And what's really different about Viking is key in a lot of areas. So one thing is they don't try to be everything to everyone. You're not going to see themed cruises on board Viking ships. You're going to have fellow travelers who are interested in art, history, culture, geography, just like you are, and you're going to be sharing time together. Viking is very focused on the destination, so a lot of time is spent in port. They really include a lot into their package, so you really are feeling like you're getting a lot of value for the money. Very efficient operator. All the ships are sister ships, so you never have to worry if one is going to have more amenities than the other. And they have amazing staff as well. So I touched on this a bit, just about the Viking philosophy is our guests really like to explore and understand the world, and they want to be able to go on meaningful shore excursions where they feel enriched and be able to learn more about the history and culture of the areas that they're sailing through. And then Viking has been around for a long time. That's what makes this cruise line so great. Back 26 years ago, they started the River Cruise line, and their guests just demanded more and more itineraries from Viking in the Viking way. And so Viking does keep their ships small. Even their ocean ships are just 930 guests, but that allows them to sail into smaller ports. So that also allows us to not have very often the need for tendering, which really saves a lot of time when you're in port. So a lot of those values that we take for granted as Viking loyal guests, and our other people don't realize there is such a difference between large ship cruising and Viking cruising. Another thing that's great is that so many things are included. So Viking has 8 different dining options. All of them are included in your cruise fare, so there's no additional charge. And we'll talk more about these as we get further into the presentation. And we touched just a minute on the staff. The Swiss trained staff is excellent. They really do make you feel like you are home away from home. As you can see, the return staff rate is so high. And it's one thing that guests tell us all the time. I felt like they really cared about me. They tried to learn my name. They really did care about each of my needs. And then Viking does it differently in that you are always going to have a shore excursion included in every port of call, but they also offer optional ones as well. From local life, where you might learn how people live, and maybe going to, in this case, on this itinerary, going to a Norwegian farm and learning about how they raise their uh, cattle or work their lands and live as a family. Working world is going to be how people make their living, of course. Dala of Norway is a factory that has been doing amazing, beautiful sweaters. You'll notice they came for the Olympics. Maybe I think they actually started back in 1952 and have just been going strong ever since. And they're very, very popular and so warm. And then we have privileged access options, which are going to be those special relationships that Viking has that will take you into behind the scenes experiences that you might not be able to get anywhere else. So we'll touch on some of those as we talk about this itinerary as well. Now, one of the things that Viking loves to say no to are things that our guests are really in agreement with as well. For instance, we don't have any casinos on board. There are no children under 18. The chairman likes to say the Viking guests like to travel with their grandchildren. They just don't like to travel with other people's grandchildren. No umbrella drinks or photography sales, someone interrupting your dinner all the time, taking your photo. We don't charge for beer, wine, or soft drinks for your meals. Your alternative restaurants, as I mentioned, are included as well. No charge for Wi-Fi. That came home to me when I was recently on a large ship cruise with some extended family with younger children. And $500 was the cost for Wi-Fi for the week. And I was like, wow, I need to appreciate my Viking benefits next time more when I get on board the ship. Even the laundrettes are available and it comes with a soap, so you never have to worry about getting coins to run the laundry to help you tide over your clothes that you've taken for your trip. No entrance fee for the spa. The spa is free and it's a lovely spot. We'll show you some photos there. No inside staterooms. Everything's a veranda. So you never have to wonder if you're compromising a view in order to get on board a Viking ship. No smoking, no waiting in lines, no formal nights. You never have to worry about, are you going to have to take a special suitcase for your fancy clothes? It's very casual and relaxed, business casual, as we like to say. So our extra way that we help enrich our guest time on board is our Viking guest speakers and lecturers. So you'll always be able to find out in-depth information, not just from port talks that are very interesting, but also from guest lecturers who are specialists in these particular areas. And so it really makes for a great learning experience as well. Now I'm going to turn off my camera because I want you to be able to really see these wonderful photos. And we're going to talk about the destination itself. So 1 second here, and we'll be able to move forward with our presentation. So the British Isles Explorer is what we're talking about today. We are overnighting in Bergen or in London. So this cruise actually goes either way. And you can see from this map, it's a wonderful overview of the Scotland, Ireland, UK, and then we even take in the Orkney Islands and the Shetland Islands as well. So in this case, we're going to start our cruise here in Bergen. And Bergen is just a beautiful city. We actually feature it on a lot of our itineraries. We have Viking shores and fjords, Viking homelands. Iceland's majestic landscapes is another one. Into the Midnight Sun. If you want to go in the wintertime in search of northern lights, trade routes of the Middle Ages, which starts in Barcelona and ends in Bergen, or the reverse, or in the wake of the Vikings. So it's a great place to start. And as you can see, the views are just beautiful, not only of the mountains as you see here, but there are many beautiful surrounding fjords here. Bergen was actually founded back in 1070. It was once a Viking settlement. It's got some beautiful 18th century houses along the wharf called the Bergen Wharf, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It also features one of the 4 Hanseatic offices, which were established back in 1350, became a real powerhouse in this area. And you'll be able to stroll through the Bergen Wharf on your day of arrival. You're going to have time to, I always like to stay up, try to get on local time and really enjoy kind of getting used to the time zone, but also visiting the city where I can, because I know I want to maximize every possible minute there. So along the Bergen Wharf, you'll find markets that have fresh fish and vegetables, fruits, arts and crafts, lots of handmade items. So you'll enjoy just strolling along, seeing this beautiful wharf, very popular. You may want to grab lunch here or even stay ashore instead of going back to the ship and get a wonderful, authentic Norwegian meal as well. So we'll overnight here and we'll be here for the full day the next day. And our included experience will be a guided walking tour of the waterfront, and then we'll have a stroll by these 18th century houses. We'll get a tour of the Hanseatic Museum, and then you can continue to explore or do some optional tours. There are a lot of really great ones here, like flight seeing over the fjords, be just breathtaking. You might want to get your exercise and go on a Nordic walk and go to the top of that mountain as you saw in our initial picture. You can take a visit to the Dal of Norway Museum and see how they make those beautiful sweaters. Go to a Norwegian farm and get that local life experience. Just driving out in the beautiful countryside would be just amazing. So it's a great city to start your cruise, and you'll enjoy being able to spend some time here. Or if you can, we always suggest guests come in early, get used to the time change, have a little more time to explore the city, and of course, meet some other guests who will also be on your Viking ship. Day 2 is, or day 3 now, our first day of sailing out of port takes us to the Shetland Islands. And this is Lerwick. So you're going to wake up here in the Shetland Islands. We'll be docking here, and we'll start off with a trip to a historic castle. You'll learn about these great ponies, so popular. The Shetland ponies are just perfectly adapted for this rough weather. They're stocky animals, but have amazing strength. You'll get a chance to learn about how they breed. You'll get a chance to pet them. Just a real highlight for our guests here. But you can also go out on one of the boats and see the sea life. You can see the puffins here. You may want to go out and enjoy watching for otters or sea lions, and spend some time exploring the coastline of the Shetland Islands. Just beautiful as well. There's also a lot of history here from the ancient days. We have an optional excursion to the ancient civilizations in the Shetland Islands. There is a lot of history here in this Norse settlement. It's known as Jarlshof, and it's actually ancient, and some say as old as Stonehenge, but it's a beautiful drive out into the country. You can see this historic area, walk around, and learn all about the history. So remote area that isn't visited as much because the Shetland Islands are obviously separated from, some of the more popular ancient sites, but you'll want to see this if you enjoy digging into the past. Day 4 is the Highlands in Invergordon here. So we'll leave that night and we're going to cruise to Invergordon. You'll want to get up early, get in the Explorer's Lounge or maybe out on your veranda. You are going to be sailing down the Cromarty Firth here, and you'll love this area. It's very scenic, and we dock in Invergordon, and this is the gateway to the Scottish Highlands. They're known for their natural beauty, the traditional Scottish heritage of the different clans that have been here over the centuries. You'll be able to visit Inverness Castle, which you see here, or the many beautiful castles and churches that line the river along the Loch Ness. It's a beautiful and a charming town. If you know someone of Scottish descent, you'll want to encourage them to visit here because they have some great historical and archived buildings where you can learn all about your family tree. But a lot of people love this area for Loch Ness and the Orkney Castle. This castle has history that dates back to the 6th century, at least the written history, but it was even noted even prior to that, but that's where the latest records are from. And it was situated right here on the point of Loch Ness, where it would have perfect views to catch invaders. Unfortunately, it was blown up in the 1600s because they didn't want it to fall in the hands of the Jacobites. So this is what you're going to see today. But when you're in the visitor center, you'll see a film, and then they have these floor-to-ceiling windows. And when the film is over, the screen parts, and you'll have this incredible view of the castle on the shores of Loch Ness. So you'll have time to go out and explore and the grounds, walk around the castle, and just learn a lot about this history. But we also have another optional tour that's very popular, and it's to Cotter Castle. This is said to be Macbeth's castle, where the murder of Duncan took place. So if you're a Macbeth fan, you'll definitely want to go here. You'll meet the family that owns the castle, which was built in the 14th century. It's been passed down through generations. As you can see, it's got some stunning gardens. But you also are going to get to go to Culloden, the battlefield there, Culloden Moor, where the British fought and defeated the Scottish, the clans of the Scottish Highlands here. So if you enjoy wandering around there, you'll see these large headstones, those markers where the clans dead are buried, and learn about the history of how the Duke of Cumberland and his British forces defeated the Jacobites here. But our included tour of Inverness is going to be the Inverness Castle, getting wandering around the city, getting a chance to visit all the shops and walk the cobblestone streets. It's very picturesque and a really fun day here in Invergordon. Our next day is going to take us into the amazing city of Edinburgh. It's got such a great atmosphere, incredible history, but there are just so many things to do here. Depending on the tide schedule, that will determine whether we are going to dock or tender from the Port of Leith. But there are many things to do here. What you're seeing here is Edinburgh Castle up there on the hill, and it just gives commanding views of the new town. So this is the old town where the castle is, and you'll look down the Royal Mile to the new town, which goes all the way down to the Palace of Holyrood House. It's a great city, lots of history here, but you're definitely going to want to choose some of the optional experience as well. So the Royal Mile will take you past some incredible storefronts that just have so much history, like St. Giles Cathedral and the Church of Scotland with its amazing stone pulpit that's been beautifully restored. You'll see kilt makers, past pubs, whiskey makers. If you enjoy that Harris tweed wool, this is the place to get it. They make it up there in the Hebrides Islands on the northwest portion of Scotland. Right around the corner is the Elephant House, where J.K. Rowling wrote her Harry Potter series, or at least started it there. The National Museum of Scotland is here on the Royal Mile, and of course, so many shops. You'll just really enjoy spending time wandering on the Royal Mile here. But you might want to consider taking a trip to the Palace of Holyrood House. That's what you see here. It's at the end of the Royal Mile. It was built by James IV back in the 1400s, and it's been the residence of many Scottish monarchs. You'll have opportunity to go and see the various exhibits that are here. One year they had Queen Elizabeth's famous gowns on display, and those exhibits are going to change. But one thing that you'll want to notice is the not the turret in the front where the people are, the three people are to the right, but the turret all the way to the left. That is where Mary, Queen of Scots, had her bedchambers and throne room, and where she lived between 1561 and 67. So it's a real highlight if you want to go and experience that and tour this famous castle where Bonnie Prince Charlie also held court for about 6 weeks back in 1745. Another highlight here in Edinburgh is the Royal Yacht Britannia. And you'll have a chance to actually tour this. This yacht's been serving the royal family for over 40 years and was their floating home when they had to visit the foreign nations. You can see the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh's chambers, the formal dining rooms. It's really a great tour. It'll take you an hour and a half or two, and you'll enjoy a visit touring this beautiful ship. Of course, for those who love golf, you can experience St. Andrews, and we literally will have a full day on this excursion. We'll drive up to St. Andrews, we'll cross the Firth of Forth Bridge, and that's that famous UNESCO World Heritage Site rail bridge that Edinburgh is known for. You can visit St. Andrew's Cathedral, and of course, you'll visit the golf store where you can shop. You'll be able to see the original home of golf, and of course, the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews. If you really love history, you'll be able to go to Stirling Castle, which is home to Stuart kings and the birthplace of James II. And this castle sits on a high volcanic rock with incredible views of the Scottish Highlands and Lowlands. And from here, you can take a visit to the Bannockburn Heritage, which uses 3D technology to bring Scottish history to life. See the Wallace Monument, where William Wallace led the Scots into battle. And speaking of that, you may want to do privileged access into the home of King Robert the Bruce. Bruce family has been at the heart of Scottish history since the 12th century. So this house, after remaining closed for many centuries and was the home of the Bruce clan, has opened its doors, and you're going to be able to go in and actually see this famous home for yourself and learn all about the Scottish history. And then you'll even go to the Abbey, which was the final resting place of Robert the Bruce, and his remains lie under the Abbey there. You can also do a bagpipe workshop and whiskey tasting. So if you really want an authentic Scottish experience, you'll be able to see if that's available to do as well. And then day 6, we're going to go to the Orkney Islands in Kirkwall. You'll be pulling in there in the morning. So again, a lot of people don't get this opportunity. I was here last year to see the Orkney Islands. It was really beautiful, remote, rugged, and very fascinating to see the ruins that are here. You'll see an archaeological site here, Skara Brae, and they've called this the Scottish Pompeii because it was covered up with sand, has been slowly unearthed to see these remarkable ruins. There's also a lot of wartime history here from World War II. So Scapa Flow was an area that was really heavily protected by British battleships. They showed us places where the battleships would stay to guard this area when we were there. But Italian prisoners actually asked their captors if they could take remains and just some odd pieces here and there and create a chapel. And you can actually see how they did. And this Italian chapel is popular for tourists to go see. They would take bits and pieces of whatever they could find and that's just build it out of like 2 Kwanzaa huts and made a place of worship. There's a lot of other historical World War II history sites here. So if you are interested in that, you may want to go and tour that for the background on its place in World War II history. You can also see the Ring of Brodeur, which is that circular stone ring. It's almost 5,000 years old. So it's just amazing to see these huge stones standing out literally. It's like in the middle of nowhere, but a very fascinating day in the Orkney Islands. And then if you want to do a unique optional tour that is a privileged access, you can do the whiskey tasting at Highland Park. This is the world's most northerly whiskey distillery, and you're going to enjoy a tour and tasting. You'll have a typical Orkney Island lunch, and then afterwards you'll visit Hobbaster Moor, which is where the peat comes from. This is what gives the whiskey its distinctive taste. You'll even come back with a bottle of Highland Park whiskey as a souvenir. Our next port of call is going to be in the Highlands again, but a little more in the northwest corner. This is a beautiful small fishing village. As you can see here, you'll get some amazing photos and very peaceful and scenic. So be up early, look at the beautiful views as you sail in. We'll be tendering in Loch Room here. It's just a remote area, very beautiful. The water, as you can see, is just pristine, and the countryside and castles are just beautiful. You'll have a panoramic tour. So take your camera, take some good photos, maybe stop at a pub, enjoy a lunch, or pick up the shortbread or fudge that they're famous for, and just enjoy relaxing on this beautiful area. If you want to do a privileged access tour, you can go see Castle Leod, and this is the home of the chief of the Clan Mackenzie, the Earl of Cromarty. This family's lived here over 500 years, and it's one of the few castles in Scotland that's still occupied by the original family. The Earl of Cromarty's family will welcome you here, and you'll get a personally conducted tour, learn about the history, see all the amazing artifacts of these wonderful old family homes that are just rich in history. Day 8 is going to be a really popular day in Belfast. We are actually in Northern Ireland here as we dock. You're going to have a lot of great opportunities to do so many wonderful activities. One of those is going to the north coast of Northern Ireland. And here you can see this is Giant's Causeway, and there are over 40,000 co-joined basalt columns. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site here. It has a legend that says that giants walked from Ireland to Scotland on these basalt columns. So if there is time, you'll also be able to stop for photographs at the ruins of Dunluce Castle and hopefully get a chance to walk across and take some great photos of the rope bridge that spans an 80-foot chasm here. It's really beautiful. You can enjoy so many things here. One of those would be Down Cathedral. Of course, this is more commonly known as St. Patrick's Cathedral. And you'll be able to learn about his history and visit St. Patrick's grave if you'd like. Great experience here. You can learn so much about Northern Ireland's history and British history. There's some amazing murals in Belfast that tell the story of all the troubles that they've experienced over the years, the fights between the Protestants and the Catholics. You'll see the Crumlin Road Jail, which is also very famous. But our included tour is going to take you to downtown Belfast, which will show you the highlights. You'll pass the Grand Opera House, the Albert Memorial Clock. There's the Queen's University and Botanical Gardens. There's a Belfast City Hall, which you'll pass. Also a Titanic Memorial. So if you want to learn more about the history there, you can stand in the shipyard where the Titanic was built and learn all about that at the world's largest Titanic museum. Day 9, we're going to go to Liverpool and sailing into beautiful Liverpool, which is, of course, the birthplace of the Beatles, but it's a very stunning cultural center in and of its own. It's got some impressive churches, beautiful architecture everywhere you turn. There is a wonderful waterfront here, but of course, most people connect the Beatles with Liverpool, even though behind them is part of the Three Graces architectural buildings that are just beautiful as well. People love the experience of being able to tour this and learn about the history of the Beatles. One of the things that Viking offers is a privileged access tour called A Night with the Beatles, where you actually go into the museum after hours and really get a behind the scenes experience. But we're going to see all the famous landmarks here, from Penny Lane, Strawberry Field. You'll stop by the Peace Garden. This fully immersive Beatles experience is one that is very special. And if you can't get enough of that, or if you'd rather do different things, you can do the Beatles experience in the day and other things at night. So many options here. One of the other things you can do, of the many options there are in Liverpool, would be you can go to Wales for a steam train ride on the famous Horseshoe Pass, maybe go behind the scenes on a privileged access tour to the grand estate of the Earl of Derby. Lots of options here in Liverpool if the Beatles doesn't take up all your time. Then day 10 is going to be Holyhead, Wales. We are heading into this great little port of call, and as you get off the boat, you're going to have an included experience to one of the many castles in this area. This one on the left happens to be a 3-walled Roman fortress that really dominates the city. You'll have an included experience in walking around the town, see the fortress, go to the Holyhead Maritime Museum. So it's a great walking tour that's included here. But there are other wonderful optional experiences as well. For instance, there's the Festinaag Railway, where we have a lot of guests that really love train rides, and you can take this opportunity to take a scenic drive to board this train, and then the train's going to take you into the Snowdonia National Park. So beautiful scenery, includes lunch as well, and a nice way to do something different in Holyhead. Day 11 is going to be a wonderful day of touring as well. We're going to be in London, in Dublin, which was actually founded as a Viking settlement. Today, it's one of Europe's most significant cultural hubs. So we have a great included panoramic tour here. We're going to take you to Trinity College, to St. Patrick's Cathedral, and we'll drive by the Guinness Storehouse, which if you would like to do an optional tour, you can do that later. But Trinity College is definitely a place to stop and visit. It was founded in 1592 by Queen Elizabeth. The grounds are beautiful, but of course the highlight here is going to see the 9th century Book of Kells. This is a handwritten, illuminated manuscript of the 4 Gospels, and one professor said, "What the Mona Lisa is to Paris, the Book of Kells is to Ireland." But in addition to that, the old library is just absolutely stunning. It is over 300 years old. It's got over 200,000 books. So can you just imagine having an afternoon to wander these halls and really enjoy seeing Trinity College? But St. Patrick's Cathedral is also a highlight here, so you can explore that as well. And then, of course, as I mentioned, if you really want to experience the Guinness Storehouse, you can get a history tour of Guinness. You can learn how they make all those clever marketing strategies. And at the very end of your tour, you'll be able to pour your own pint and sit back and relax, and enjoy a bit of iconic Irish marketing and an iconic pint of real Guinness. Day 12, you finally get a chance to catch a breath. We're going to have scenic cruising on the English Channel. So we are sailing from the Irish Sea to the Celtic Sea around Wales and England. And as we come into the English Channel and the Strait of Dover, we'll pass those beautiful white cliffs. So it's a wonderful day of scenic sailing, but also a great time to just really enjoy the ship. Take part in wine tasting, maybe a cooking class. Hear one of our resident historians talk about the history of the ports that remain in southern England and London, and just enjoy a day at the spa, get a massage, do some reading. Just a great relaxing day at sea. I love those days. Now, Dover is a very important town. It's one of the highlights is seeing the Canterbury Cathedral. So that High Street area in the town of Canterbury was actually established by St. Augustine back in 597. So it has over 1,400 years of history here. You'll have some, after your included tour, you'll have some free time afterwards to just stroll around Canterbury, shop, and enjoy that. But we actually have an optional tour experience to tour Canterbury Castle, as well as Leeds Castle. So that is one of England's oldest and most romantic castles. It's built by the Normans in the 1100s, and it's famous because Henry VIII, who lived there, turned it into a royal palace for the first time. So lots to do here. A great experience is going, especially if you love gardens, is going to Sissinghurst Castle and Gardens. Beautiful gardens, the remnants of a castle are here, and you'll get out into the countryside and just be able to enjoy a nice motor coach ride to the gardens, stroll around the gardens, learn a bit about the history, and see a more remote part of this area. And then the next morning, we're going to be sailing up the Thames River, where we'll be docking in Greenwich. It's just a short drive to London from here. Great experience, beautiful waterfront area. It's famous for its history, but of course it has so many things to see here, whether you want to see the National Maritime Museum, which is part of our included tour. We'll see Buckingham Palace or Big Ben, Westminster Abbey, where a lot of monarchs have been coronated and buried here. You'll see the Churchill War Rooms, known as the Cabinet War Rooms. That was the secret underground bunker where Churchill and his staff were headquartered when they fought the Germans during World War II. Then you have St. Paul's Cathedral, the Tower of London that you can visit during the day and see the British Crown jewels. But one of the most incredible experiences, and one our guests really love, is the privileged access after hours tour ceremony of the keys. And this is very popular. This ceremony has been going on every night at the same time for 700 years. The only way to experience this is to do so personally. You're not supposed to take pictures or films, but you'll arrive at the tower around 8:30 at night. The chief yeoman warder of the tower, or beefeater, as you could see here in this photo, is going to give you a tour of the grounds and the White Tower that was built by William the Conqueror in 1078. That's where Mary, Queen of Scots, was beheaded, as a matter of fact. And this ceremony locks up the gate of the Tower of London, and it's the military pomp and circumstances that you would expect. And the same words have been repeated every night at the same time for the last 700 years. So very popular with our guests. Definitely sign up for that one first when your booking window opens, if it's available. Of course, there's many other things to do here in London. You can do a boat ride along the Thames River. You can pass the Tower of London on the boat ride and see the Tower Bridge. see the House of Parliament Square, Big Ben, Westminster Abbey. Get on the London Eye and enjoy the Ferris wheel for great views across the river. And just enjoy the experience of being in London, because this is our last day. And then you'll be getting off the ship the next morning. And of course, we always encourage guests to extend their stay, whether before or after. And we have many good options here. Bergen and London, we both have 2-night stays. And that's going to be your hotel stay, your daily breakfast, your transfers, and the services of a Viking host during your 2 nights there. But our longer extensions, I think, really provide a great value. We have Best of Norway and Scenic Train, which is 2 days in Bergen, and then your trip to Oslo on that Scenic Train, and then 2 days there. We also have the 2-night version of the Oslo and Scenic Train. But Iceland and the Golden Circle, if you can get to Iceland, I would definitely recommend that. I went there twice last year. It is just lovely. 1,000 waterfalls in that country. You wouldn't expect it with a name like Iceland, right? But many, many amazing, beautiful parks and spas there. So really encourage you to do that. Churchill's Britain is where you can go deep into the mind of Winston Churchill, learning all about his birthplace in Blenheim Palace, going to the war rooms, his family home at Chartwell. Just a very popular excursion, an extension, I mean, that guests really love, who love that history. And then probably even more popular is Great Homes Gardens in Gin. So this is a 4-night extension specifically featuring Highclere Castle, which is the home of TV's Downton Abbey. So guests love that. Of course, there are many other stops that we make along the way. So a very full extension. So Vikings 4 or 5-night extensions, I just really recommend, and have really enjoyed extending my trip with Vikings extra extensions. Now that is the summary of our itinerary highlights, but I want to just pause before we go into the ship tour and just to give a break of why you would use Imagine Air Travel. Well, since Viking is all we do know it inside and out. Because of that, we can get you the best pricing and bonuses. We're always going to make sure you get your new guest or past guest discounts. 100 per person Shipboard Credit on your cruises, even if you booked with Viking in the last 60 days. We're happy to add that for you, so just give us a call and see if we can help. We are so knowledgeable about these itineraries. We know how to give you the best promotion codes, whatever's available. We're going to make sure we add them to your reservation. And we really pride ourselves on that personalized service. You don't have to call an 800 number. You're going to have our direct lines, and we have a whole team in place that's happy to serve you. We really want to give you the best advice on all your options, whether it's cancellation policies, your how to best use your vouchers, which insurance is best for you. We are really there to help you feel confident about the choice of vacation that you've made, as well as allow you just to relax, think about the trip, think about packing, and let us take care of everything else. So to give you a quick ship overview, we have these beautiful Viking yacht-like ships, which are so well appointed and so designed to give you that sense of being able to connect with fellow travelers. This is the main atrium. And as you can see, there is going to be live music at night, whether it's piano or guitarist or stringed instruments. At the top of the steps is an interactive screen, which changes throughout the day. It places Viking sails. And then at night, it becomes a virtual art museum tour of the Edvard Munch Museum, a partnership that Viking has with Norway's native son. But as you can see from what they call the living room, these well-appointed little areas, you can gather together and listen to music as you wait for dinner to open, visit with new friends, and it's just a wonderful area to gather and feel like you're actually having someone in your home. The Explorer's Lounge is a very popular area, just beautiful and views. Just imagine sailing down those incredible fjords, sitting up here, reading a book, or just watching, having tea, and looking at the great scenery as you're sailing by the White Cliffs of Dover, or early morning sail in. This is the Winter Garden, where we're going to have those wonderful events like your afternoon tea. Think of a high tea experience every day where you can relax, come and have some beautiful um, scones, clotted cream, um, tea sandwiches, listen to some stringed music, and enjoy connecting and chatting with guests and talking about the excursion you had that day. And then outside of the winter garden is the main pool. You see that roof is retractable. So if the weather is less than perfect, you can still enjoy a heated pool and relax and read on a sailing day. And of course, if the weather's beautiful, that'll open up and get some wonderful warm rays as well. At night, this area becomes a real entertainment center. And whether it's a performance or a movie, they'll have blankets, some Bose headphones that you can listen to, and a wonderful way to enjoy an evening of entertainment. Now, the Viking ship is also appointed with a unique infinity pool. As you can see here, it's going to help you feel like you're swimming in your destination. The spa, excuse me, is lovely. And whether you're sitting on that bench under that firewall and just chatting with your friends about the day, or getting a massage or going to the sauna, this is a well-appointed spa that has everything, including a snow grotto. So the Viking way is to stimulate the body's circulation with heat and cold. So you'll see these gently falling snowflakes coming down from the ceiling, and you can get in there and enjoy that, or the ice bucket challenge, and then jump into the sauna and warm up again. The restaurant has some beautiful views and always great food at the restaurant. And Freddy's is your specialty restaurant with that famous beefsteak Florentine. Also has a private dining room. So if you're traveling with a group, be sure to get on board and ask if there is space available to join and have a private dining room all to yourself. The Chef's Table is another specialty restaurant that will require reservations, but it's a wine tasting menu that's got a menu that changes every couple of days. So try that more than once if you'd like. Mamson's is a Norwegian deli, which allows you to try those wonderful waffles with caramelized goat cheese, or great desserts in the afternoon, or split pea soup in the evening for a night snack. Viking has so many great places to eat outdoors. I love eating outside with Viking, and the room service is just incredible. So make sure you try that when you're on board the ship. And now we're going to talk about stateroom categories. And this is the area that I think will just give you a good idea about how to pick the best room for you. The deluxe veranda and the veranda are actually the same square footage, as you can see, but the veranda category is one category made up of these veranda 1 and 2, and then deluxe veranda is 1 through 6. Now, as you go up between these categories, penthouse veranda, penthouse junior suite, explorer suite, and owner suite, you will get additional benefits as you go up. You get earlier stateroom access on embarkation day, which is wonderful if you've been flying all night, to be able to get into your room earlier. You get extra stateroom amenities such as alcohol in your room, laundry, dry cleaning, shoe shine pressing service, etc. But probably the thing that is most important to our guests is the earlier window to book shore excursions. So encourage you to think through this, because that is one of the most important things. You'll always have an included shore excursion in every port of call, but you want to make sure that those optional excursions, you're able to book the ones that are most important to you. So we're going to give you a quick tour of the staterooms. This is the beautiful veranda stateroom. This is the entry-level category. As you can see, there's not a bad stateroom on the ship. You have beautiful bathrooms. You've got drawers here that keep things from rolling around and keeps your bathroom nice and neat. You're going to have a mini bar stocked with soft drinks, water, and snacks on the first day. It's not refilled after that. That comes in the higher categories. But every stateroom has premium bathroom amenities like body wash, shampoo, conditioner, and lotion, and they're color-coded with large print, so you don't need your readers to see what you're putting on your body. The deluxe veranda now has earlier access to the stateroom. Now you get some priority shore excursion reservations, as well as priority dining reservation. You'll get priority booking of spa treatments at 60 days. And of course, your mini bar is stocked daily now. And you also get in-suite binoculars, coffee maker, and this wonderful blanket in your room. Again, same size as the veranda. Going up from there is the penthouse veranda, about 25% larger, earlier access to your staterooms, a few more opportunities to book those shore excursions and dining and spa treatments. You now have alcohol in your room. And of course, you get some extras like pressing and shoe shine service and a welcome bottle of champagne. This is the penthouse veranda. Then we go up to the junior suite, which is 405 square feet. A few extra things now, laundry and dry cleaning are also included. And of course, earlier access to your stateroom and more priority reservations. So your penthouse junior suite actually has a curtain here that you can pull across. So it really is giving you a sense of privacy. If someone works late or gets up early, you're not going to disturb your travel partner. Got a sofa in here in the room as well. And then your bathroom is going to have heated towel rack and double vanity sinks. Everything's a little bigger, a little nicer. And then as we go up to the Explorer Suites, we have a range, as you can see here, 757 to 1,163 square feet. And we'll show you the differences in those if that's the category you're interested in. But you have so many extras here. Of course, lots of extra space to have friends over, chase lounges forward or aft of the ship. And this is the only category that actually has a tub to it, this and the owner suite. So it's a great category. And speaking of the owner suite, look at this. If you want to travel like the chairman does, then you can have this amazing suite, which has so many extras, including an ocean view dry sauna, a boardroom that seats 12, and of course, lots of space. So basically an apartment at sea. So if it's available, there's only one. We'll be happy to look for dates where you can go to the owner suite and be like the chairman of the company. So that is our presentation. Our motto is Great Vacations Matter because great memories matter the most. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the British Isles Explorer. We're really happy to have you on board the Viking ships. I think you're going to love it. And of course, we're here to help make every aspect of it as easy as possible. Feel free to call me, Carol at imaginegoingthere.com, and we're happy to help make your next vacation very memorable. Have a great day.